Hello. I trust everyone can hear me. Let me just turn that up a little bit more. If you can hear me, let me know. Yeah, you can. Let's see. Can you hear me? If I put my headphones in, um, not that that'll let you hear me, but it'll let he hear me. All right. So, Sonia is here, and Soul of a Man, and Anot. I see you all. Hello, Cyber. All right, Soul of a Man, do you have your link? If you click on that link, you'll come in, and you're here first, so you can start. This is our testimonial time. I just lean on that side so much. Yeah, Soul of a Man. Let me see. You know what? I will do this. To make life a little simpler. I can't ever get that mirror thing to work. This is our testimonial live stream. The link is in the chat. Mystiversation. Hello, Melissa. I haven't said that name in a while, Mystiversation. Hello, Melissa, my dear darling. The link is in the chat. If you want to share your testimony, I'll give you 10 minutes to do so. Click on the link, follow the instructions, and you can come on. Whether you want to be on camera or not is up to you. You have control over that, whether you want to show your face or not. It's totally up to you. And so there, I'll put that on there, and this goes there. The whole idea for us today is to share how you've used the law and how you've watched it work. Oh, hello, Ms. M. I see you. Soul of a Man, you're still here, right? I've sent you the link. Anot, you can click on that link and come on in and share. Unless, of course, Anot, you want me to share it for you. I know I also invited Matthias. He's got a beautiful testimony. He just ended up doing a commercial for Dr. Pepper. Like, that's awesome. And he used the law. So that's what we're doing today. Oh, Miss M, thank you. I'm using a light indigo is the color I'm using today. That's the mood I felt myself to be in. And oh, you're at work. Okay, well let's share for Anot, because I have it right here. I can read it. I can read it in my email. I sure can. I just have to pull up the email. And it is... It says, "Hello, Angela. I just want to give you my little testimony. I really don't participate in doing anything at the job, but a little voice inside thought of you and dared me to do something I love to do. I baked one of my son's favorite dishes, peach cobbler from the box. I wasn't trying to place. I just did something I love to do, which is to bake. And I got 3rd place." And she says, "Thank you." You see, I like her line. A little voice inside of her dared her to do something that she loves to do. Like, think about that. And I remember I told you there's no little, There's no big. It's just what do you love to do? Because what might seem little to you might be a big deal to someone else. Do you know what it takes to actually present your stuff? When you make something for someone, believe me, I know. Ew, man, that was gross. And that's just one person. But to do something you love doing because you felt emboldened to do so, that is the power of the law. And you see, when you apply the law, right, what happens is you are beginning to create a lifestyle. That's fine, Queen Marat will be here. You get the girls settled and fed, we're good. You begin to create a lifestyle instead of, you know how we do sometimes, oh, I just want this in my life, I want that in my life. And I told you before, it's tiring to chase, to get this, to get that. But what if you developed a lifestyle that was one of ease, and you needed money, it was there. You needed, it was there. Doesn't matter what you need, it's there. Because why? You walk in a place and a vibration of ease. And when you walk in that vibration of ease, well, all the other vibrations, because remember, they're coming to you by way of how you have yourself polarized. So when you have yourself polarized with ease and relaxation and peace of mind, that is a very high vibration. And so now that's how you live your life. So it doesn't matter what you experience, you live your life from that lifestyle. So which would you prefer? The lifestyle or just the quick fix for, oh, I can manifest anything I want? No, the lifestyle is what we want. This is why Neville Goddard tells you to live in the state. The state is the lifestyle. So spend your time developing you, which will give you a vibrational set point because everything moves. So now that when you go somewhere, you want to do something, and you see here, Anot, because I know you're listening, what you did from the very first interaction you and I ever had, you implemented the law. You implemented the law because you were looking for a way to change. And you said, this will not do anymore. I do not like living this way. And all I taught you to do was to implement the law. I said, here they are, and here's how we live by them. And now you find yourself being emboldened. Do you see how you created that lifestyle of boldness? And if you continue, because the attitude of boldness is already there. So now it doesn't matter what it is. You now have that attitude of boldness, that vibration that says, well, I am confident and I follow through. That's what you've developed. And it might not seem like a lot, but it is huge. Because as I mentioned before, so many people are looking for the quick fix, the, oh, I want this, I want that. But they don't grasp that you have to live every day. And to live every day means you want to be able to flow with life and not be tossed to and fro tumultuously. And in order to go through life with ease, you have to be at ease. So you develop the lifestyle. And that's exactly what you're doing, Anot. You are, every day that you practice, you begin to fortify your vibration. It only gets higher and higher, because even if you fall backwards and you forget something, the new vibration that you set is higher than where you were before you started consciously practicing the law. So that's why when I tell you there's no little and there's no big, it's you. And kudos to you, Anot. You put in the work every day. You do. That's how come you got the boldness to say, well, I'm going to do what I love to do. I'm going to bake something. Like, that's a huge accomplishment by way of law. And you did it. Shea butter, baby. I see you. But does that make sense? Let me copy that link and pop it in the chat again so that we have access to it if people are available and they want to be a part of it. But yes, there are many things. Like, I'll give you one of mine. I've told you this one before because it's still so fresh for me. When I was writing that email about wanting to narrate her project, and I was going to ask, do you have a narrator? Would you like me to narrate it? And something said, you tell, don't ask. You say, I'm going to narrate your book for you. Here's my sample. Done. And I narrated it. The law emboldens you every single time. Empress Ella, I see you. So the floor is open. It's not, this is what this is for, a testimonial. You come on here and you share your testimonial. If you want me to share it for you because you're at work, send me a note so I know what it is. Right? But I want to encourage you that when you practice the law on a daily basis, you are creating a lifestyle. Because look at the one you led up until now. I can go back and tell you mine. Shoot, you can't argue more than me. That was my lifestyle. But I had to consciously say, okay. Okay. I'm not gonna argue at all. I'm just gonna be at ease about this. What's the solution? And over time, whether it was a month, 2 months, 3 months, arguing became less and less and less and less. So now that's how you know you're developing your lifestyle. Does that make sense? Come on, y'all are not shy. You guys aren't shy. I put that link in there. You just, as soon as you click on it, it'll tell me who's here. I've never done it before. So I'm learning. That's exciting. I'm just going to pop in and see if there's anything that I missed in the email, just in case. No, we're good so far. Oh. Does anybody else want to share? I know you guys aren't shy. So I'll talk to you till you're ready, till you feel bold enough to do so. You see, the beauty of living a lifestyle, because I see these questions. How can I get the ideal relationship? How can I get more money? This is a process. Because if you're saying things like, I really want more money, or I want to be in a relationship, if you're saying that to yourself and you're saying, Neville Goddard says, all I have to do is live in the end. All I have to do, because imagination creates reality. I just have to live in that feeling all the time. What if you say that and the feeling in your body says, really? Who's going to want you? Look at how old and run down and raggedy you look. Because that's how we talk to ourselves sometimes, right? We're not very kind to ourselves. And we say, oh, but what if I'm not bringing anything to the table? See, what you want right here and what the memory in your body, that sensation says, you don't match. And I will choose the one that is more powerful. So your body's vibration will win out, hands down. And then you say something like, oh, I got the opposite of what I wanted. No, you got what you are. You got what your vibration is. And so to change the vibration, you acknowledge where you are and where you want to be. This is what we acknowledge. And when you do that, you begin to see solutions. And when you see solutions, you behave differently, because now you're living from the solution. You're acting out, you're living out the solution, and you're raised your vibration. Because that's the solution is not where the problem is. The solution is higher than the problem. Cynthia. So you see, we have what it takes to do it. That's why testimonials are important, because you get to see what you're accomplishing. Because what do we do first when we accomplish something? Oh, what a coincidence. Coincidence? Coincidence? Really? We're going to call it that? Call it what it is. I did that. I'm creating a lifestyle of ease. That's why these things are happening. So now, what if you run into a situation and you feel like, oh, but how did I bring this to myself? How did I cause this to happen? That question is coming from the old way you used to think. When something happens, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, each with their own vibration. So now if you run into a situation where your vibration and you're like, but I think my vibration is high. The first thing we do is beat ourselves up. Oh, how did I let this happen to me? Oh, things never go my way. It starts good for 20 minutes, then boom, it goes right back. See how we talk to ourselves? However, if you look at the situation that you're currently facing and you say, oh, I see where I am now. Where do I want to be instead? If you're going to stop to observe the situation, stop and observe from to not, I hate being in this position. Why does this keep happening to me? That's not where we go. We always turn towards, this is where I am now. Okay, I get that. So this is where I want to be. Solution. And you start to write down, because that's step 1 and step 2. The problem is where you are now. The solution is where you want to be. So to get from one place to the next, you have to start to think differently. So now you say, okay, what should I do? What's step number 3? What should I take? Because if you look at the problem, you'll see the solution in it. Every problem has the seed of a solution. Correct? So when you look at the problem, you say, oh, I need more money. That's a very popular one. I need more money. What can I do? Now you say, okay, what skills do I have? I've got all these talents. What can I do that is of a mutual benefit? Soul of a man, I see you. Does that make sense? Because when you look at it, you see, I read something this morning. Somebody said, I won't say names because it's not anybody here, but he's pretty popular in this sphere of things. And he was reminiscing and he was going back and he was saying how Neville Goddard and the law made him delusional. And I read that and I thought to myself, that's an easy thing to fall into. Because when you don't understand, you will hear Neville say to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live in that state. And when you hear that, and you hear other people say, well, you have to raise your vibration, and automatically we assume that with being happy all the time. Now people are dealing with sadness and are feeling like they must be happy all the time. When in actuality, nothing will drive you mad faster than that. Your mind is saying, I want better. And your body is saying, you don't believe you can have better because this is how we've been living all of these years. So what I say goes. That's what your body is literally saying to you. So now you're in this tug of war between the sensations in your body and the thing you want to achieve. And so that would drive anybody mad when you don't understand. But you don't understand. And this is why when you use polarity and you look at where you are and you say, all right, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. And you look at those two things and your body will start to do something. It will start to make you feel a particular way. You might feel anxious. You might feel worried. How am I going to accomplish this? That's usually the first question we ask. Well, how am I going to do that? So when you look at the problem and you see yourself at the solution, you say, okay, What can I do? What action can I take? What can I do to get the ball rolling? Because really and truly, to get the ball rolling, you had the thought of, I don't like here. I want to be there. Step one, step two. Step three is, what can I do? What do I have that's of mutual benefit? So that means if you need a new career, mutual benefit, what do you have inside of you that could add value to a company? You write those things down, because when you write them down, you take yourself from to. This is where the action is. And so when people hear, you just have to feel it real. I'll explain that in a moment. People say, oh, you can just, just imagine it and it'll happen. But the bridge of incidents, this is, if we listen to Neville, he tells you that action is required. You will be led to do something that will make you move across the bridge from to. You see, the action happens because causation. See what it is? So yes, soul of a man, you get up and move. Well, Cyber, here, let's put it this way. When Neville says go mad, right? There's a difference between delusion of being frustrated in that delusion, meaning the thought and that sensation in your body that contradicts the thought. That is what will drive one insane. It'll fracture you and make you want to give up on everything. But to go mad, when he's saying that, when you get a hold of the law, right? People on the outside, they look at you like, man, how do you do these things? Why do these good things always happen for you? That's where now you say, yeah, because that's my attitude. That's the lifestyle I fostered. I fostered a lifestyle of ease and relaxation. I can do whatever it is. Because that's what you've done. You've fostered it. You're not having an internal struggle. And that's what people don't understand when he says mad as opposed to madness. That internal struggle, the thought and the body's sensation, because the body remembers. Even when the mind is forgotten, the body remembers. And that's why you can't lie to yourself. But when you call up the sensation to say, you know what, I want to live in that feeling. Well, what would it feel like to your body if you had what you wanted? What would it actually feel like to your body? Not what you think. What would it feel like inside of your body? You put your key in the ignition to your brand new car. What does that feel like in your body? If you don't know how it feels, go out and test drive something that you really like. Conjure up the sensation. Because it's that sensation that is now associated with what it is that you want. Does that make sense today? I'm just pasting that link in there because y'all not going to get out of here like that. Y'all going to come and share. The law of action. Yes, Melissa. Because this is why sometimes when I frown, when people say, well, what am I supposed to do next? Sometimes I frown at me too. But if we look at polarity from to, you begin to get ideas for what step 3 is going to be. Because that's what you're looking for. LCMM, hi. Right? I can't even say lucky us because there is no luck. It is just the law of causation. If you develop the lifestyle and the attitude of, you know what? I'm just going to start trusting the law more and more every day. And when something arises in your body that says, really? You're going to trust the law? Because that's how your body talks to you sometimes, right? You say, but of course. Here's how I want you to feel. And you tell your body how you want it to feel. Because you're giving a new memory to the body. You're giving it a new memory. So it has something to draw from. This is what revision is all about. If you follow Neville, this is revision. You are going from to. It is revision. Call it what you want, but I'm telling you what it is. Revision. Now you start to behave like the person you want to be like. And when you start doing that, then you start behaving in that way, adopting the personality of the person you want to become. And you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it, as we know, 90 days, and you have a lifestyle. Now the vibration naturally goes right there with it. That action has a vibration. Why does the action have a vibration? Because the thought that instigated that action has the vibration. That's what it is. Hello, Landon. I wrote something down. Does that make sense to you today? Because I find that that's what makes us frustrated when we don't understand. I see it all the time. We keep looking for these things when you don't have to look for it. You create the experience. You create the experience. I'll go back and I'll share this with you because some of y'all are a little bit shy, but I'm shy too. I'm shy too. I used to stand in the bathroom mirror a long time ago, and the same way I'm talking to you now is the same way I speak to myself in the bathroom mirror. And I remember saying, I sure would like the opportunity to speak somewhere. I'm like, because I have so much to share, right? And what ended up happening is I always felt I am not heard. I'm coming, Queen Marat. I always would feel I'm not being heard. And that would haunt me and it would agitate me. And I read something that Neville said. He said, even if the rocks hear me, I hear me. That changed my attitude from there. So every time I spoke in the bathroom mirror, I spoke as if I were speaking to whether it be an audience or a congregation, doesn't matter, but that's how I spoke. And now here we are. Queen Marat is in the house.
Peace and love. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. So if you can hear Queen Marat, drop a 1 in the chat so we know that she's being heard. And I'm going to mute myself, Queen Marat. Share your testimony.
Peace and love, you beautiful people. So, y'all, listen. Angela is a professor, okay? She is definitely a professor. I'm gonna keep it very brief, but I reached out to her a while ago. It had to be probably over a year ago, I want to say. And I had some ideas of some things that I wanted to do. And I've been doing a lot of transitioning in my life. Like recently, I departed myself from someone in my life, and me and my kids are kind of like starting over all over again. And I want you all to know how important it is to master your inner self love and to master the laws because it is for your soul survival. So that's the best way I can put it because when I reached out to her that day, she told me something very simple, which was just flow with ease. And I've kept that mentality with me since the minute she told me that. And this is why I appreciate listening, appreciate learning the laws because it is definitely just a matter of your mind. It's where you take your thoughts and what you are doing with yourself. Because I've been on a roller coaster with so many things happening in relationships, with family, with my husband, with my children. and I just implement the laws, and I be flowing with ease like the breeze. So I just wanted I had to come on and just tell you guys that. And also, um, I want to give you guys like a brief little story of a testimony of what just happened to me in November. So just this past November, I'm gonna get real transparent here. I left my husband in November, and I'm on my own again, starting all over again with my two daughters. And I did it without fear. I knew what I was doing was the right thing to do. I followed the laws, I followed my mind, my thoughts, and I've been flowing with ease. Now, we were inside of a space and we had to leave this space. And at the time, I really didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do. But I kept my mind positive the whole time. I listened to Bob Marley, and then, like an epiphany, it came to me what to do. And my poetry community on Instagram helped support my family for about 2 weeks till we got stabilized where we are right now. I'm still not in my own space, but me and my children have shelter. We have food to eat. We have somewhere to bathe and eat and everything. So we are good. But I have to tell you that inside of everything that I've been going through, all I've done is stay with gratitude and positivity. And when you do that, the universe, God, everything just opens up. When you're in that state of frame where you want to complain and be upset and woe me and woe the world and all that, nothing is going to work for you. It's all a matter of you choosing what you're going to think, choosing what you're going to feel, how you're going to pray, how you're going to meditate, and how you implement every step you take. And it all starts with your thoughts and following that law. And with that being said, I want to read something to you guys that I wrote. I wrote this the last day of the year. I wrote it to God. I was actually sitting in the kitchen. It's real short, but it's very meaningful. And this is to all of you. It's called Psalms from Zion, and this is what I wrote. Let go of fear, let God hear. He is always near. No longer being worried. God is in his time, no hurry. There'll be divine truths in divine time. God, you are amazing, and with gratitude and praise to you in all I do. In each direction I take, you will never forsake. I am grateful for my gift, and I know this is what you want me to do as I'm stomping out all enemies to glorify you. Through my poetic psalms, I say, my people, let go of fear, let God hear. He is always near and he is so clear. So that's my testimony for y'all. Let go of the fear, stay positive, let flow with ease. It's all about your mind frame and following the law. That's all it is. It's your vibration. It's what you put out, what you get. So you want to put out the negative, you want to put out the complaints, that's what you're going to get back. I've been putting out but nothing but love, gratitude. I have the attitude of gratitude and love. So that's my testimony to y'all. Stay with thanksgiving and gratitude in your heart. Follow the law. Keep your mind right. Stay on routine with what you're doing. Routine is key. I can't wait to do this thing we're gonna do because it's two things I want to try to do. I want to work out, and I have a habit of smoking, and I want to try to stop smoking in these 21 days. So that's my piece. I came on to do this. I'm so grateful for you, Angela, Professor Angela. I call you because you're a professor to me. You're one of my spiritual professors, like for real. So I appreciate you so much. What you put out, the positive inspiration that you bring all the time, the daily inspiration. So I love you, sister, Professor. Thank you.
You are so welcome, my dear Queen Marat. Dropping some gems today. I can't type fast, so I was like on my iPad trying to get things in the chat. I'm like, yeah, that's like awesome because you are doing it. You're doing it. And that's why I always want to encourage people. Don't just hear the law. Do it, right? Because you have things in your life that you've developed over time. What yours is poetry, yours creativity. Use that to get you from to. It's the ease, it's the path of least resistance. So you use it. And that's what I always want to encourage people to do because we have these skills already. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. But if we do them with consistency, That's where we begin to truly thrive in it. So kudos, Queen Marat. You and the girls are incredibly awesome. Oh, I'm
Thank
pleased for you.
you.
And I'm looking forward to this 21 days as well.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
There you
Thank
have
you
it.
so much, sister. And
Yeah.
I just want to say to everybody, just keep beaming, keep shining, keep your head in the positive, keep your head in gratitude, follow the law. Because when she told me to flow with ease, I tell you, that's all I've been doing, flowing with. I don't let nothing bother me. I just let it is what it is, and let the universe do what it does. But it's about how you react. It's your reaction. It's your vibration. I keep my vibration real high, no matter what. So peace and love, everybody. I'll be listening, but I'm gonna drop down. I love you, sister.
Oh, I love you too, Queen Marat. Oh, my gap sister. Yeah. Oh, we have Soul of a Man. Come on in, my dear darling, and do share. I'm going to mute my mic so you have the floor. Share.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all can see my T-shirt, but I'm wearing this Bruce Lee T-shirt today. Be water, my friend. Anything, and these are things that you can implement, in your life, and as you're walking your journey, be it spiritual or religious or just your everyday life. It's one foot at a time, one step at a time. It we are at a lot of us are at the point of transcendence where we're going beyond, and we're going to these next evolutionary steps. So we're like the Jeffersons. We're moving on up, to that deluxe apartment, in the sky, for all my George and Wheezy fans out there. But I just want, they always say, give people their flowers while they're alive. So I always love seeing you work. It naturally inspires me to continue my journey and to continue what I do out here, every day. And just so I just want to just encourage you and everybody out there to and encourage your just encourage your groove, and to just keep doing your thing, and be in a space of gratitude. Gratitude always changes the altitude, no matter what. I know you may say, so love a man, you don't know our situations. I know, I get it. We're all going through something different. And
Oh, wait a minute, Soul of a
that's
Man. You're breaking
okay.
up just a little
We're
there.
all at a we're all at a different point in our lives. So
That's
please
inside.
time, because and when you look at yourself and see the growth and elevate. Okay, yeah, but yeah, so so just my thing, just for the people, just give yourself some grace. Just give yourself some grace as you continue to elevate on your journey, and that's now I'll just leave that at that.
Thank you for sharing, Soul of a Man. We met, oh dear, it's a year now. We met on Wisdom, is it? No, we met in fan base.
Yeah.
We
We
met
met
in fan
on,
base.
was it I don't know, some I mean, it might have been 2021, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It it
it's
all
been a
it all
little
seems
ago.
like a yeah, it all seems like a blur.
Like it happened yesterday.
I know, yeah, man. Oh my goodness, like
Yeah, it's been a bit. It has been. Yeah. So thank you very, very much for
No,
sharing, because it's important that we have these spaces to share and to grow and to edify each other. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at my iPad in the chat because I like emojis and I can't do them on my keyboard. And it drives me mad. So I've got my iPad so I can read the chat. Right. So I don't miss anybody. Um, but yeah, thank you for being here and sharing today.
uh, no problem.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just going to drop the link in the chat again. Oh, and LCMM and Queen Marat are both poets. So make sure to say hello to each other. Connect. See? This is why we come together in this community. So the link is there again. Let's talk about this deeper understanding of the law of correspondence, because I don't think a lot of people get it. When Neville Goddard, he said, everybody is you pushed out. EYO, whatever the acronym is. Everybody is you pushed out, is how he described it. But now what happens is, when we walk around and we look at somebody or something based upon the experience we're having, this is why I tell you, do not judge yourself at all. Don't judge yourself. There's a reason. So, because when you say everybody is you pushed out, this is the law of correspondence, as within, so without. So if you're looking at something within yourself, because you can see it on the outside, right? That's your mirror. The outside is where you primp and preen. That's your mirror. So if you're seeing something out there and you're like, ooh, I don't like that. What do I need to tweak inside of me to change it? Your vibration. So the way you think about that experience, if you have that experience and your first response is, ooh, what did I do to bring that to myself? I thought it was getting better. This makes me feel like I'm getting worse. Nothing is changing. My life still sucks. If that is the attitude at the very beginning, we're going to have problems, because that is judgment. Judge not, lest ye be judged. The reason we end up encountering those situations, even though we have a higher vibration, is because, are you here by yourself? No, you're not. You're here with me. You're here with Synovia. You're here with Queen Marat. You're here with Sullivan Man. You're here with everybody. And these are just the ones we are in the space with right now. But look at who you're around. You have to walk down the grocery store. What if that person walking by you, they're walking by you parallel, right? Because the vibrations are different. They're walking by you parallel. But what if they stop and they're having a bad day and they cuss and you were like, well, not today. Now you've done that with your interaction with that person. You've now come down to their vibrational level. There's a way to help someone without lowering your vibration to do it. The key is always to raise you up so that they come up with you. Hear it. Raise you up so that they come up with you, because you don't want to go down to a lower vibration. Because sometimes that vibration can be so low and so heavy and sticky, meaning the thoughts that accompany it can keep you stuck down there if you're not careful, especially if you haven't been practicing for a long enough time to make sure. That's why Neville didn't let anything bother him, because he had the practice. He had that practice in there. He was doing it for a long time. But for us who are learning how to do it, this is why offering the word of edification, because like he says, everybody's you pushed out. That law of correspondence, what's within you? What do you still believe? Oh, nothing good ever happens. Why I always got to fight all the time? Why can't we all just get along? Things like that that we say, those feel a particular way inside your body. And you see that feeling? That feeling in your body is telling you, you believe exactly what you feel like right here. And so to change that, now you begin to tell yourself, oh, you know what? As within, so without. How do I want to feel instead? And now you start to generate that feeling. You say, you know what? I just want to be laid back with this. I want some relief. Relief. That is relief. That's what relief will make you do. You get that big sigh. And it doesn't matter where you get that feeling of relief from. You know, when you get home and you take your shoes off or the baby's finally asleep. You see that relief? See what that feels like in your body when the kids are in bed and you have 20 minutes just of quietness in the house. You sit there and you go, oh, that's nice. Remember that feeling of relief. Because now you can always call it up. 30 seconds you hold it for, if you can hold it for 30 seconds. Hold it for 10 if you can. Hold it. Hold that sensation that you just experienced. Oh, the kids are asleep, thank God. How many times can you hold that sensation throughout the day? And what you're doing in those little short bursts, I'll keep saying it to you until you keep doing it. How many times can you hold those things? That sensation of relief in the body. 10 seconds, 40 times a day. 5 seconds, 50 times a day. Who's counting? You don't have to count. Just keep doing it. And that's what he means by embodying the state. Listen to the word embody. Get into the body. Embody the state. That's what he's saying to you. You get that in your body. You see, now, when we are dealing, I'm reading LCMM, I'm reading. When we are in a situation where there is either pain or discomfort in the physical body, that can be really challenging, because how are you supposed to feel relief when you have to get up and walk somewhere and those knees and hips hurting you all the time? Well, I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. We're going to do it one sensation at a time. You know it. Your body is telling you this hurts. It's just registering pain. This is what it's registering. So now what you want to begin to do, because we can put it in terms of teeth as well. There's your bathtub, if you have one. If you don't have a bathtub, go to the dollar store and get like it's a big container, like that you can put both feet in. And you put warm water in there with some Epsom salts. And the dollar store has, what's its name? Little essential oils. Lavender is usually a good one. Put a couple drops in that water with the Epsom salts and the baking soda. And put your feet in there. Why would you want to do that? Because the body is doing this and telling you, I feel bad. But when you put your feet in that warm water, to test how hot the water is, run some of that water inside of the wrist, right here, because that'll tell you if it's too hot or not. And once you put your feet in there, the physical body now begins to relax. And now that you have your physical body's attention, now you can start to bring up the sensation. You see, because when you put your feet in that water, what's the first thing you say? Oh, that feels nice. See, right where you are, right in that moment of relief. Now you can begin. Now you can hold that sensation of relief in your body. Now, if you had the bathtub and you lay in the bathtub and you are worried and anxious about things, As you ease your body into the bathtub and the water starts to come up and the bubbles feel nice and it smells great in the bathtub, and you just say, what a load off. That feels so good. That sensation of relief in your body is what you want. How long can you hold that sensation there? How long? Okay, not how long can you hold it. How long can you revel in that sensation? That is it. How long can you just bask in that sensation? That's what I want you to do. So now with teeth, I don't know if there's pain. LCMM, is there pain in the mouth because of the teeth? Is there actual pain, or is it that you don't like the way the teeth look? If there's pain, one of the ways, okay, gargling with salt water helps to relieve the pain. And also gargling with salt water helps to reduce bacteria, right? That's what we can do right now to alleviate pain. Now, I don't know if you have benefits at work. I don't know what that is like. But I do know in some places, I'm Canadian, so I can give you ideas of what to look for where you're from. First of all, gargle with the salt water. It'll help you relieve that pain. And when you relieve the pain and you can feel the relief, now you say, find me a good dentist. One that will take great care with my mouth. Why would you want to say that? Because it has more effect when you say it from a place of relief than you do from a place of panic and frustration. We can't always see clearly when we're frustrated. So if we can get the body to feel the relief, now you can tell it what to do. Like if you have a screaming child, they're not going to hear a word you say. But if you calm them, so you have to use every tool in your arsenal to calm the child. It's the same thing. You have to use the tools to calm the body. So gargling with salt water will help to relieve pain by toughening the gums, but salt cures, it purifies, you know. And now that you have that kind of relief, now you can say, okay, now I know I need a dentist. Let me see who I can find. What kind of dentist am I looking for? Someone who cares, someone who is gentle, and someone who can either accept my benefits or has a pay scale. If we do that, that is easier for you to accomplish and not fight against in your body. If I say to you, lay down and imagine your mouth is completely healed. Because you're going to resist that. You're going to fight that. And it will create more pain. So we say, where am I now? I'm here. Where do I want to be? And so now you implement the salt water. And as you're calm there and you're reducing the pain, now you begin to list what you are looking for in a dentist. And then you say, okay, while I'm waiting for the dentist, there's a toothpaste I can use. Something charcoal. Do you see what I'm saying to you? The steps that take you from where you are to where you want to be. So getting in the bathtub and relieving the body of pain, water has a beautiful way of doing that. The buoyancy. Yes, Synovia, it sure is. And so that's why if we relieve that pain in the mouth to get just 20 minutes so that we can be clear of what we're looking for in a dentist, I tell you now, every time that pain comes up, you tell your body, hey, relax. We're going to get the salt water. We're okay. You see, this is better, right? You see that relief? That's what we want. That's what you do. And so now the vibration, now that you're relieved yourself, the vibration is now up, you can look for the dentist. Because you'll go somewhere, and I tell you, you'll go somewhere and you'll come across, or you'll hear it somewhere, or you'll see an ad somewhere based on what you're looking for. That's how we do it. But we've got to get the relief there first. Hi, double A. I see you. Does that make sense today, LCMM? Does that make sense? Because that's the whole point. That's what we want. Because we're in these bodies. If you think about it, if you let an infection go too long in the mouth, you will hurt your brain. Bacteria don't care. They don't care. So that's why we've got to deal with these things right away. Right? Because when you're in pain, you don't want to do anything. That's why you find a way to relieve the body naturally. You don't want to, what's the word? Numb the body. But you want to get it into a state of relief. For instance, if you're dealing with migraines, let's deal with it now. I'll show you. Because you want to relieve the body so that you can think. Because when you can think, you can make a change. Understand? If you're dealing with migraines, I hope you can still hear me. Your hands, the thumbs, go here at the back of the head. Right in the middle here, that slight depression you have back here, the head, slight depression. At the base of the occiput, the occipital protuberance, this, you come down and there's a depression there. You put your thumb in it, you put the other thumb in it, and you pull out to the side. And you use these hands here to hold your head. Because now you're going to gently massage where the trapezius muscles insert at the back of the head. And I promise you, if you push there and that is tender at all, you know you've got tension. So you massage it. You massage it. And as you massage back there, right? As you massage back here, your body's going to begin to ease itself. And when it eases itself, now you can talk to your body. Okay? Because what happens to us when we are agitated, right? Remember I told you how to touch your body. Remember this. When we're agitated, the body stores that information. And because it is storing it in here, you're saying one thing, but your body remembers what happened. It remembers an incident that causes you to walk around like this with your shoulders up because you're so tense. And then if you try and squeeze here, they're like bricks. Your body remembers. So this is why getting the body to relax. Get the body to relax. That's why things like humming can also help. You see, that's why I'm telling you today, sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that. But how can you when the body is registering a very low vibration because it is so tense? See, there you go. And so it begins. Right here in the chat, look at it beginning. So that's why when I say to you, this is what we're in. This is what we're in. And we have to know how to care for it. And when this is tense, you are blocking the flow of energy, of chi in the meridians. Meridians are allegedly invisible to the naked eye. But let me tell you this. I'm going to show you something. So you have hips, yes? Let's use the mirror effect. If you've got hip pain, I don't know how we got here, but we're here today. Let's go with it. Let's run with this. We've got hip pain. You see, the hips, that's below. But what's above the hips? You can either use the shoulder or you can use the elbows. And I'll show you. If your right hip hurts, get your left arm up. Left arm. I hope you can see it in there. Me and my bony arm, so that's okay. So if that hip is hurting on the outside, massage it, touch it. And when you feel the pain of that elbow, because that shouldn't hurt you, but because that hip, right hip, left arm, mirror. So if that hip is hurting you, the right side, push on it. And if it causes you pain, massage it. Right? Now, if it's the inside, it doesn't matter. Massage it. Because what you're doing is it looks like a hip. I don't know how I can make it look like a hip for you, but it does look like a hip. Because you've got here, you're in the middle, and you got left and right hip. So if the right hip is hurting, go here for the left and massage it. Massage the elbow. Why? Because they're mirrors. As above, so below. If you've got the pain in the back of the head, chances are, see, as above, so below. Above is the back of the neck. Why is there pain there? Because there's pain below it. That's why I taught you how to do this, to relieve the tension in your body. We think the law only refers to getting things, but the law refers to, when I tell you as above, so below, it works with your physical form as well. So when Neville Goddard tells you to start behaving like somebody who's healthy because you want health in your life, but you're looking and you're saying, but my whole body's in pain, how am I supposed to imagine health? Find a way, as I say, if you got that hip pain, go to the elbows. If you've got knee pain, you can go to the hip, or you can go to the elbows, or you can go to the shoulders. Why? As above, so below. So below, as above. And begin to relieve the tension that you feel in your body. Because when chi is flowing unblocked, now the mind is clear. And when the mind is clear, you can think straight. And now you can make a change. Is this making sense to you today? Do you have questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat. The link is there. Let me drop the link in there again. Hold tight. So now, and here's the beauty of our bodies and traditional Chinese medicine. The ear, we call it auricular because it's the oracle of the ear. I don't know if you can see inside, but if you put your finger right in there, right here, just right there, that is the Shen, the mind. Shen is the mind. If you find that you're a little bit anxious, you can push on it. Now, if you push on it and it's tender, well, then you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot. It's just right in there, just here. You're not digging into your ear. It's just here. And if you go up inside the oracle of the ear, you can't see it. We can massage in there too. I don't have my auricular guide with me to tell you all the points, but these are the little things we can do because your body is telling you the law as it is. And the reason why I wanted to tell you that is, you see how it is shaped? It's a baby. This is the spine. This curvature here is the spine. And this is the head. The part represents the whole. If you see a part, you've seen the whole. The whole body is right here. Same with the thumb. This is your head. So You see, as above, so below, as within, so without, is bigger than you think it is. So when people say, oh, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, use what you have here. I'll be teaching more on it, Synovia. I'll be teaching more on it. I'll be picking different ailments and teaching more on the law within the body and how to unblock certain meridians. I mean, I didn't pay $87,000 for this education not to use it. I have to use it because we are in need of the information. Now, remember this, it's not meant to replace your MD. It's not, because that has a monopoly on it. But as I say, we can begin to use these laws to create a lifestyle of health. So I know Queen Marat says she wants to go to the gym. The minute you tell your body you want to go to the gym, it's going to start to tell you certain things back. But if you go the same time every day for the same amount of time, if you spend 20 minutes there, it doesn't matter what you do in those 20 minutes, as long as you're working out those 20 minutes. Because now what you're doing is you're preparing the body. You're moving it. Movement is the best thing for the body. Oh, are you now, Melissa? Do we call that a coincidence? Or do we call that causation? I'm loving it. Manifest with Jax. Food poisoning, you're in it now. If you have charcoal, charcoal goes great. Charcoal bonds. It is what it's negative because the other things are positively charged. I'm trying to remember if that's how I understood it from school, but charcoal is very effective for food poisoning. Funny you should bring that up. You're the second person I know with food poisoning today, but charcoal works great. Ginger to settle the stomach, because you notice when you have 4 days, I didn't freeze. I'm thinking. Yeah, but the charcoal helps a lot. However, you do not want to run the risk of dehydration. So either seek medical assistance and see what they say, because you have to put yourself. I always tell people, yeah, I may live the law, but safety first. Apple cider vinegar, go with charcoal first. I understand why you would choose the apple cider vinegar. But when we're dealing with this, because it has to come up, if you have to vomit, apple cider vinegar is going to burn you on the way up. So the charcoal, if you become nauseous, right? If you have to come back up, it neutralizes stomach acid. Same for baking soda. What was I going to tell you? I was just going to tell you something else. Remind me what I was going to say. Coconut water. Because you don't want to run the risk of dehydration. So get coconut water because it has electrolytes in it and it's natural, as opposed to the stuff you get, like the Gatorade. And Gatorade is good too if it's the original yucky tasting Gatorade, because it's not sweetened, it's not treated, it's just the electrolytes, it's just the potassium, sodium, right? It's just them, magnesium and calcium, nothing sweet in it. But that is just simply pure raw Gatorade, not the flavored stuff, because if you put sugar in there, oh God, water will stick to sugar and it will come out again, and you're worse off than when you started. So go with the neutral, which would be the coconut water, which I find is the best because it's nature. But if the Gatorade, the natural Gatorade, is the one you can get your hands on, then that's your second option. charcoal to bond and pull things out. And even if you have something green, if you have like the chlorophyll, the chlorella, like green will help. But to get rid of the toxicity right away, charcoal. It'll help you a lot. Any more questions about that? You know, it is a privilege to know the law. When I tell you that, I'm very serious. It can help you with any situation, because I don't know how many of you have sons who are going through puberty, but the level of testosterone in these little rugrats is it's enough to turn your hair gray, because you're like, what is happening? But if you lose your cool, it's not their fault, but you have to teach them how to cope with Mother Nature and what she's doing. Same for girls, because they have now a higher level of estrogen and progesterone, so they're way more emotional. So you can use the law there as well, because in traditional Chinese medicine, when you have little children, you treat the mother to influence the child. Always. That's why we have mother-son points. Heart 7, it's the sun point on the heart's meridian. So if the heart is acting up, like, you know, there's a lot of heat in there and you're anxious all the time, well then, treat that. It's the sun. Reduce it, because that's what's causing the agitation. So you calm the mother by reducing the sun. But to treat the child, you treat the mother, because how the mother behaves, the child responds in kind. So if you treat the mother because she's anxious and worried about what's going on with these kids and the hormones, and Mother Nature's just got her, treat the mother. Calm the mother, you calm the child. My son said to me, Mom, why are you so angry? Because I was like, clean up your room. And I was like, he's right. Why am I so angry? The room's going to get clean. You know what, Angela? Just take a break. Because the minute we become comfortable, we tend to go back into the old way. This is why habits don't leave you. They just become depressed under the new one. You suppress them. And that's why you always have to be vigilant, so you don't fall backwards. Because it's your second nature, right? You've done it for so long. That's why you always got to be on top of these things. Shea butter. Hey, Mozinga, I see you. But this is what it is, right? And it's important that we understand the law is far-reaching. It is not just for manifesting things. It is a lifestyle to live the law, because then you become intuitive. You become more intuitive when something is going on. If you say, oh, but that hurts. Oh, my arm hurts, or I don't know how to deal with this person. Ah, yes, you do. Get out your pen and paper and write it down. From to. That's the law of polarity. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I loved the testimonies, by the way. I don't know if you have one that you want to give before we go, because I don't want to keep you, because I know it's what time is it? It's 5 for some of you, and maybe 4 for some of you. It's 3 for me. And if anybody here from the UK, well, it's like a crack of dawn for them. So I try and be cognizant of that, so that we have time to unwind from the day. You have time to unwind from the day. This is why we make those nighttime guided meditations, so that when you are laying there and you remember the bath that you had and the water was so warm and the bubbles, ooh, the bubbles, and the lights were dim, or you had candles, it matters not. But you were there in the bath and it felt amazing. See that sense of relief? Recall that. Recall that sensation as you are laying in your bed and revel and bask in it. Because Lord knows your fingers and toes won't wrinkle when you do that, do they? Because if you stay in the tub too long, the water gets cold, then you start to wrinkle. Ah! But you don't have to wrinkle when you're laying there. Revel in that sensation and the memory of your bath. And you see that ease that you're now reveling in and falling asleep in? Do that for 21 days and then see what happens. You'll be like, oh my God, there was a miracle. It wasn't a miracle. It's that you raised your vibration and you started to live in a particular way and tell your body how to behave. And your vibration matched it. And because your vibration matched your new lifestyle, well, then the new experiences have to confirm the new lifestyle. Yes? So you see, the law is the cause. The law is the cause, but something caused the law. So that's one of the things you learn in traditional Chinese medicine, relativity. The law is the cause. And if we use it, we get the effect of that cause. But the law is the effect of what? The all. And the all is cause and effect. So it's we begin to understand things on a much larger scale. And when you see them that big, now you can bring it down and put it into your own life. Ah, yes. You're new to my space. Etaye, is that how? Etaye? I want to say it right. Etiye? Yes, Delroy. Etiye. You know what? Break it out phonetically for me. Who did it last night? She did, because I could not say her name, but then she broke it out into what it sounded like. And then I was able to say her name. And yes, Delroy, the emerald texts, oh, indeed, they are complex, to say the least, but they're brilliant when you read them and you understand where he is coming from and how he explains things. We're talking about Thoth. Some people say Thoth, but that doesn't make any sense to me because the word hot, Tai Yi, Empress Tai Yi, welcome to the space, my beautiful friend. It is a pleasure to meet you because I have never said your name before. Well, I would have remembered. And if it skipped my memory, apologies. But I know I haven't said that name. So, but the emerald tablets, you see, when I tell you, right, that here we are running around. We want this and we want that. We want this, we want that. Use the law to get what you want. Yes. But never reduce the law. Never reduce the law to just things because it is the whole universe. And there's not just one. So always, that's where the awe of the law comes from. It puts it into a whole nother perspective for you. And when you start to sit and think in the silence, some of us can't sit still. But when you sit in the silence and you marvel at the fact that, holy cow, I can make my hip feel better by pushing my elbow. As above, so below. You're damn right you can. Think about that. How incredible is that? And now you're like, the law is the cause, but the law is also the effect. Wow. And when you start to have that kind of an attitude about the awesomeness of the law. Now your vibration is way up there, and then things begin to fall into place. LCMM, where am I from? I am originally born and raised in Barbados, and I live in Canada now. That's my accent. You're the second person to ask me that. I auditioned for this book, and the writer says to me, "Where's your accent?" And I was like, "You can hear it?" And sure enough, But yes, yes, Mozinga, break that down for me, my resident etymologist. I'm looking at a chat in two places. One where I can do emojis, and the other where I can do words. It is absolutely amazing, is all I can tell you, when you apply the law. I saw the chat move because it moves faster. Oh, your granny is from Barbados? We're island mates. Wow. Yes, our little teeny tiny island. There you have it. Where, LCMM? Where in the Caribbean? You see, because in the Caribbean, we grew up in church. Yeah, that's where we grew up. We grew up hearing, you got to pray and fast. You got to do this. God's going to punish you. This is how we grew up. It's like the law is written in every holy book there is, because that's where they got their information from. And they just compiled what they wanted. And so what happened is a lot of misinterpretation happened. That's why I try my very best to always see the Bible through the eyes of the law. They are stories. Now, if you've done any kind of research like Billy Carson and Matthew LaCroix and Paul Wallace and Eric Von Daniken, they'll tell you some of those stories are actually things that happened with the Anunnaki, but there's only so much the human mind can comprehend in any one moment. But, Dominica, my son's godmother is Dominican as well. And St. Lucia. And Mozinga, you were laying down, and yes, but that's when you have the awe of the law. Feel like a rapper today. When you have the awe, when you live in that state of awe, you see, this is why poets are important to society, They are. If you ever read the hymns of Hermes, Thoth, Tahuti, same person, the way he speaks, let's just do it and be done. I'm trying to find it here. It says, the student of pure philosophy studies the sciences, not as fanciful theories, but as devotion to Atum. That's what he calls the all, Atum. It has a vibration when you say it. Because they reveal a universe perfectly ordered by the power of number. Because measuring the depths of the sea and the forces of fire and the magnitudes of physical things leads to a reverent awe at the Creator's skill and wisdom, because the mysteries of music bear witness to the unsurpassed talent of the supreme artist, who has beautifully harmonized all things into a single whole, suffused with sweet melodies. to simply love Atum in thought, with singleness of heart, and to follow the goodness of his will. This is philosophy, unsullied by intrusive cravings for pointless opinions. You had to know that Thoth, or Hermes, was a poet. Because he says, when you think of Atum, A-T-U-M, if you say it the way the tongue sits in the mouth, Atum, the back is open, the back teeth are open. If you're a singer, the back teeth are open, there's a space, and the mouth, the enclosure has a slight O, Atum, and it vibrates all up your nose when you say it. That is what got me. I see what you just did there, Mozinga. This is why I love you in my space. Because think about it, in the atom, right? We say the atom holds all that power in it for creation. And look at where it got its origins from. Atum. A-T-U-M. And the atom is A-T-O-M. So you see, when I tell you, right? When I tell you the magnificence of the all, and this is why I don't understand why, I'll come back to it. Mozinga, yes, but that's it. The atom is the all. You see, as above, so below, as within, so without. We have, the law is written in every fiber of our being. And so this is why when Thoth says to you, the science, you don't just study science to theorize, you study science to understand the all, to comprehend the all, because the science is the outward expression. There's a word called gastrulation. I'll help you out, my resident etymologist, so you can look it up and tell me. But gastrulation is turning the self inside out. So what's on the inside is on the outside. So we can see nature. That's on the outside. For us, it's the outside, but it is the inside. And that's it. When we cut and we dissect, because that is the nature, but you don't have to, that's the thing. If scientists would grasp it, you don't have to cut and dissect something to understand its inner workings. You don't have to cut it open and dissect it to comprehend how it works, if you know the law. So gastrulation is to turn the self inside out. So if you've seen nature, and it's not that nature, oh, the oceans, the mountains, the trees, the grass, the birds. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the order that allows you to see nature. The order that allows you to see nature is the mind of the all. See, sometimes why I just sit there? Because you're like, and I'm running around just trying to pay bills, and all of this is happening. This is why when the scripture tells you, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. What are all those things? Food, shelter, clothing. You don't have to worry about anything. Because why? When your mind is on things elevated, the vibration is also elevated. And the longer you stay within that elevation, you are polarized there. So then you can predict what kind of lifestyle you're going to make. This is what I'm wanting for you to see and to live and to become. Not because I say so, but because of the beauty of what it is. And then you don't have to worry about, oh my God, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. But if you elevate your thoughts on things higher, like what we're doing here now, you elevate you, I elevate me. See the domino effect? Now tell me how the world can end up in hell if all of us elevate ourselves. Why? Because now we think about it. If 4 people can polarize on the same thought, the Tower of Babylon tells you that story. Everybody was polarized in the same way. They had one focus, get to God. That's an alien story, by the way, but that's for another time. They had one thought, get to God. So they were all focused. And God was like, say what now? He comes down and he says, oh, I can't have this. I can't have you getting to me. That's how you know you're not dealing with the all. But I digress. The all is not afraid of you and you getting to know it. The all wants you to know it. I digress. Imagine if 4 people who are polarized in one direction can move and create something. Now, what can 100 people who are polarized in the same direction do? What can 1,000 do? If we're all polarized in one thought, one focus. Indeed, Mozinga, when you are minus somewhere, you are already polarized. Yes, because you have to remove, minus, your attention from where you don't want to be and put it where you do want to be. So you have to remove, you have to minus from that, from to polarity. See how things make so much more sense when we apply the law to every single facet of our lives. Just the fact of, listen, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say this. The law arouses your curiosity. The law stimulates your senses so that you want to know more. That's why David can tell you, draw close to me and I'll draw close to you. See it? Don't let me get more fired up than I already am. Don't let me get fired up more than I already am. Because these are things I sit and I think about these things, or if I'm talking to my bestie and we just get down this path, and it's like you raise yourself up. There's nothing, listen, if you stay at that vibration, if you stay there, you think anything is withheld from you? There's nobody to withhold it. Stay in that vibration. And what you do, the longer you stay at the same pace, and you build momentum, right? You become magnetized. This is magnetization. Because magnetization happens because of vibration. So some people say, well, there's a law of magnetization. But if you understand vibration, you know where magnetization comes from. Hey, Cyber. Yes, Mozinga, that's what it feels like. It's, you just get so, but yet, I'll say this. Even though I am magnetized right now, there's peace on the inside. Seems paradoxical, doesn't it? How does one have peace yet you're so fired up? Because the fire is not one that is uncontrolled or undisciplined. The fire is coming from the place the same peace is coming from. So they are one and the same. That's how you can get fired up. There's a difference between being fired up and then having a mob mentality. If you hear what I'm saying, you go out and you riot and you picket. Everybody see that? That is chaos. But when the fire has been ordered and you are using it, yes, because that's what happens. If you could see it, right? The vibrations are like, they're moving. And the more they move, because you're polarized there, they start to move faster. And they start to move faster. The vibration, yes. Now you're beginning. See, Mozinga, did you read what he said? That's why you can make fire with wooden sticks, because you're doing this. What happens? Light. The vibration. You've done it. You've rubbed it so much. There's two sticks together. The light bursts forth. The vibration becomes light now because that is cohesion. I'm so excited. Sorry. It is cohesion. When all of those light waves come together to take form, all those vibrations come together to take form. That is what makes matter. So this is why when you keep harboring on a thought over and over and over again, that's what you're doing to the thought. That's why people can say to you, thoughts become things, but they have to tell you how the thought becomes a thing. Tell me, Mozinga, my resident etymologist. Wow, y'all are brave to just to be here, because this is when I tell you the all is absolutely incredible. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. When you're walking, if you are walking down the street, you understand. And your mind is, wow, the all is magnificent. And you look up at the sky and you know that so many matching vibrations have to come together to get that to be there. And then to keep sky and earth separated, the vibrations have to oppose each other. So they can't be the same. When you walk down the street like that, tell me why you can't smile when you say, oh, look at what the all has done. How much more magnificent am I? That, listen, you live your life from that place. Live your life from that place and you begin to see stuff that happens. And you know why? Imagine, if you will, if 8 billion people lived from there. And we think we can't have utopia. We think we always have to have friction all the time. Yes, Mozinga. It sticks together. It adheres. Why does it stick together? Because they are the same. So now, when you hear like attracts like, if you hear that so many times, birds of a feather flock together, why do north and south repel? They can't. But like I said, you can't argue with scientists. They'll come upon that all on their own. I don't know more than scientists because they do experiments. I don't do experiments. I just simply look through the lens of the law. And this is where I want you to look at every facet of your life. Do your best to get yourself in that state of awe. It's just, you hear what he said? Reverence. Look it up, Mozinga. To revere. The root of respect is in the reverence, you know. And you notice how fear is not in there in reverence? There's no fear in reverence. You had a question for 2 days. What was the question? What was the question? Inquiring minds want to know. Like, this is, I don't want to keep you much longer because I just saw the time. The time is in red up there on the left. 1 hour and 38 minutes and 59 seconds. You see, I bet you anything, when you begin to live a life that is on that level, the things that go on underneath that level, you'll see them because you got eyes, you got ears, you'll see and you'll hear. But you won't be affected by it. Does that make sense? That's where we want to get to be. So, but we have to go through the motions to get there. It has to come together and make sense for you, so that the more you practice, the more you practice, the more you practice, the more you know. NBC, right? With the little star on the rainbow. The more you practice, it becomes a most beautiful lifestyle. It becomes so beautiful to be in that place. I hear you. Now, if there aren't any more questions, let us go about the day and, well, the rest of the day, and enjoy it. The question was about science. Did you ask it up there? Like, I don't know. Because I haven't scrolled back yet to see it. And this was supposed to be about testimonials. We had testimonials, but then we branched off into something much more brilliant too. So I want to say thank you for the 13 of you who are still here. Internal question. Okay, you listen, you can always slide into my DMs. One thing, you can always slide into my DMs. I want to thank you all for spending time with me today. And I trust it was of benefit to you. I really do. It's got me all fired up, I'll tell you that. I don't even know what the temperature is outside, let me tell you. Because I want to put on my snow pants. And if I don't have to put on my snow pants, I'll just put on my jacket. But, oh, that's not bad. It's -6. Huh. That's not bad at all. I don't need to put on snow pants. Yes, LCMM. The all is cool. The all is cool. And I know we get those questions with, well, then why am I here? Who put me here? Why was my life so hard? Why do I have to suffer? Why this? Why that? Those are the questions we ask. Those are valid questions. But if we look at those questions, you see, when we forget the law, when we forget that we are a higher caliber, a higher vibrational being, when we forget that and we begin to meddle in the low vibration, that's when we begin to hurt one another. That's when. That's when. Because we forget. We forget the law. And when we forget the law, that's when we hurt one another. So it's not that, why is this happening? Why is that person doing that? You see, the law leaves nothing unchecked. Nothing at all. So if you're gazing out into the world and you're saying to yourself, why is that person getting away with evil? Getting away with evil? Sorry, that was funny. You can't get away with anything. It may seem like you get away with things for a time, but you cannot get away with anything. The law doesn't punish, nor does it reward. It's just as within, so without, as above, so below. As you are, well, you reap what you sow. So this is why the law always encourages us to be our best selves. Always. Like, imagine, I might write a nighttime story about that to get you in that state of awe. So when you fall asleep, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, if we could live from that place. And you know, by way of law of rhythm, watch what happens. Today, you're more polarized where you want to be. Tomorrow, you're a little bit less. Next day, you're a little bit less, but you go back. You see, the whole point of the rhythm is The rhythm is there. It's going to happen until everything goes back into oneness. But the more you practice your rhythm of being in the presence of the all more frequently than you are in the presence of the world, the rhythm begins to move in such a way that life becomes easier, more smooth, more fluid, and less chaos. That's what we're doing. And we do it one thought at a time, is how we do it. Oh, there'll be plenty more time to learn LCM, and we're always learning. So let's do it. What are the laws that govern all of us? Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. Vibration. Everything vibrates. Polarity between two poles. A swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Causation. Because every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Gender. A projection of the will, which is masculine, giving life, giving form, which is feminine. Those are the laws that govern all of us. And they seem really big. But as above, so below. This is how you can make it smaller to yourself and apply it to your everyday life. And that's why I don't want to paint a picture of disillusionment where we say, oh, well, like that. You have to get that lifestyle first by recognizing that you're in this body. And here's the beauty. When we relinquish our bodies, you remain, and so does your knowledge of the law. This is what it is. So it's not just this lifetime. I don't know how many lifetimes there are, but I will tell you this. The all exists. The spirit exists. The body has to stop existing because everything that has a beginning has an end, Neo. Somebody asked the question. Who created the all? You see the paradox right there? Because everything comes from the all, but how did the all get there? And that is the question that these bodies will only ever allow us to theorize. Because to understand to understand the formless, one must be formless. As Paul said, I see in part and I prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect has come, is that what he says? See, this is why your memory's got to be on point sometimes. Let me see if I can find the scripture because it applies right here, right now, to what Paul is saying, to help us understand why we can't grasp fully the all. No, so I'm going to put it, I see in part and prophesy. Ha! There we go. 1 Corinthians 13:9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is, I want the whole verse, people. Don't just give me part of the verse. Blah. There it is. I was right on the money. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away. If you go back to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he'll tell you exactly this is why left and right, polarity, because you have to swing the pendulum. In order to swing, there must be a position of two things. But there's only ever one thing moving in between those two. but we see the world by way of polarity because this is where we are, right? And so the all is, it is not polarized, it does not have rhythm, it is above the law. It is all, but we are part. We're not a part, two different words. Like, how do I want to say that? You're not apart from, you are part of. Apart from would mean you're separated. A part of means the whole. You are the whole. So when you see, this is why when I told you that the oracle of the ear represents the human body, this being the head and this is the spine, this is only part. You see the part, you can see the whole. Part of, not apart from. So then we all go, then that consciousness now becomes that whole thing again, because it's not been fractured. That's why I don't like when people say, oh, the universe is getting to know itself. The universe is your brother. The universe is a created thing, just like you, just like me. The universe is not a creator. The universe is governed by these principles as well. Mentalism, vibration, causation, and gender. Almost. So the two that are missing, mentalism, you have correspondence is next. Because what is in the mind has to be felt in the body. So they have to correspond to match. And the vibration will move you between the two poles. And the two poles will create a rhythm of movement. And those two things are influenced by causation because the thought is the cause. Yeah, this is why people say that we live in a world of duality. It's not duality at all. You're not two, you're one. You're one. So this is why you shouldn't separate yourself from your body. You're in it. And this is why sometimes we struggle so much with pain, because we want to separate ourselves from the body. The body's telling you something because it gives you form. If you were formless, you wouldn't have a body. I trust that makes a little bit more sense today. Clear as mud? I know, I get it. But this is why we learn. And this is why we apply the law on a daily basis. It will come to you, LCMM. It will come. It's just practice. And that's why when we do things like forming habits, a habit is simply the persistent thought that causes you to speak and act and do that thing over and over again. You're using the laws every time to make a habit. So that's, when you know these things, it makes life so much easier. It makes living more pleasurable because now you don't feel like you're being punished. You don't feel like you're alone. You don't feel like you're neglected. When you understand, how can you possibly be neglected? Like I said, human to human who have forgotten, because we've all come through things generationally. And because we've forgotten the laws and the essence of the laws and the all, that's why we hurt one another, and that's why we suffer, because we forgot the law. Anyway, I'm a sip. If there's any more questions, let me know real quick. If not, where you been for the past 2 hours, Angela? Talking. But not just talking because I have a mouth. I'm talking because the things that must be said by way of law are important for our existence. So remember the things I taught you. I don't know where they are back in there. So if you're going back through this video and you find the parts where you learned how to do the for tension, or put the timestamp in the comment to help each other out. Because I don't remember where it is. I didn't write it down. Sorry. But does that make sense? -6, run under the covers. -6 is warm. Listen, it was -40 last week. So -6 is a breeze. LCM, yes. -6 is a breeze. Because like I said, it was -40 last week. Last week. Okay. We have high hopes for February. But it's done today, so we'll see what March is like. March is coming in like a lamb. So it'll probably be chilly for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's not bad though. I truly enjoy it, you know. But that's all I wanted to tell you today. And for everybody who, let me shout out everybody. Before we go, let me shout out everybody. Soul of a Man, Asonia, Ana, Cyber, Mist, Conversation, Melissa, Ms. M, Queen Marat, Shea Butter, Empress Ella, Cynthia, LCMM, Landon, I see you, Synovia, David, I'm still going through you guys were busy in this chat today. When I see the names that double A vibes. You were driving, you know, Synovia, thank you for sharing that information with LCMM. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Cynthia, I'm just seeing your comment. See, this is why I go back through. I hope you're still here. I don't know. You say this life has been a true confirmation. Manifest with Jax. Hello. Thank you for being here. Mozinga. Empress Tai. She was here also. Yeah, you guys were busy in the chat today. Just making sure I got everybody. And Queen Marat, there you are again. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying to you? It's my teaching ability is so inclusive. What do you mean? I don't know. I just have a lot of things in my head, I suppose. I don't know. LCMM, you are welcome. Thank you for yours. You stayed. And listen, check out the community post on YouTube. I will put there's my email. I'm going to pin my email up there so that you, if any of you want to email me, just slide into my DMs. If you follow me on Insta and that's easy for you, then message me there. If you follow me on Twitter, that's easy for you, message me there. Facebook, message me. I'm there under Positively Angela, right? Definitely, if you have questions, let me know, because the whole point is to learn and to grow and be learned by asking. And when one teaches, to learn. Oh, see how that works? Well, Neville lived his life on a completely different vibration altogether. After he was mentored by Abdullah, he lived his life on a completely different level. This is why he could say and do the things he did. And what Neville said very clearly to look at how he lived his life. But he understood that people wanted things, so he taught them how to get things. But they got so caught up in the getting of the things that they forgot what Neville said. This is why he wrote the law and the promise. This is why he wrote it. But we get caught up. Believe me, I understand about being caught up. Melissa, yes. You know, I agree with you. And I've known Lance now for a little bit, and he was always on me. You got to do something. And I was just like, hey, that wasn't my mind because I was too consumed with other things like surviving, right? And so there's a difference when you remove yourself from that state of surviving to one of thriving. And I'll tell you, you see how I thrive on a daily basis. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, you don't have this big house on the hill, or you don't have this Bugatti. No, I have a Yaris, $40 to fill it up and fuel. You know, like I go through life and I'm presented with opportunities and I take advantage of the opportunities and I see the ways. I'm just about to answer your question. Have you experienced the promise? Neville talks about the promise as where Golgotha, you know, where you come out of your skull. That's how he experienced it. So if you're asking if I've experienced that the way he did, no, I have not. But what I do experience on a daily basis is divine guidance. That is what I do experience on a daily basis, because sometimes we get caught up in things and behaviors that we used to do, right? And we think, oh, well, if I don't have all of this money in the bank, if I don't have this type of relationship, well, then I'm not valuable somehow. Far from it. Far from it. See, those things, when you live in a different state altogether, the promise will reveal itself to you when you are ready. Look at the vibration that the promise is on. The vibration that the promise is on. That's why I say, the more you practice and the more you spend time just in quiet and just breathing, the divine guidance will come. Here's how you do it. When you're going to bed, my dear, you simply just lay there. I have nighttime guided meditations posted, by the way, in YouTube. They help you get into a particular state. The playlist is meditation. As you are laying there, what is it that you want? You say, you know what? Rumor has it we all have a helper. Here's the kind of helper I'm looking for. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to become my best self. Who is willing to help me do that? Now, they say we have angels. Some say ancestors. But when you ask, there's a difference. Just like you said, that's what you're looking for. You just asked for it. Now it's yours. Because if you think about it, you go somewhere, you do something. What led you here, LCMM? Let me put you on the spot and show you how you were divinely guided. What led you here twice in one day? I'm going to take time out to answer this question, because if you have to go, you have to go. But who remains will remain. What brought you to this channel, LCMM? Answer that question for me. And then I will answer the other part of your question. While you're typing, I'll sip some water. Now you understand. You did not have to ask it with words. So if you can be led here, where else can you be led? And the reason you will always know where you're led is where you should be. You will have a corresponding sensation in your body, because you will catch yourself saying, oh, that vibe doesn't match. That vibe doesn't make me feel good. What's the vibe, the short for? Vibration. You see, we feel vibrations long before we speak. Just a good vibration, sweet sensation. Who's doing the sensation? Your body is. Your body is giving you the sensation. So wherever it is you have been led to go, you will confirm it by way of the sensation in your body, because it will be one of peace. That's what I can tell you. So you see, LCMM, you were led here not by coincidence, darling, but by the law. You thought about it and you said, I could use a little something. You didn't know what to name it as, but the vibration led you here. And here we are. Does that make sense? Divine guidance. Always you're being guided. Always. Mozinga, why'd you say yikes? Why'd you say that? So you see, like, when I tell you these things, I'm not just saying them because I'm trying to be cute. I'm saying them because it's the law. Where's Ultra? It's the law. Double A was here because when he made the artwork, that's what he said. It's the law. Yeah. Exactly. You feel the sensation in your body corresponds. This is the law of correspondence. Yeah. See? See? To think I used to be. Of course. You're welcome, Zenobia. I love you. Thank you for being here. See, LCMM? You're always on the path. Always. Always. You're always on the path. And you know what? And you know what that path? That means, my dear LCMM, your desire to change was greater than the desire to remain the same. Did you hear that? Your desire to change was stronger than the desire to remain the same. And that's why it led you down a particular path of causation, cause and effect. The cause was the thought of, I'm dissatisfied with a particular place in my life and I would like it to change. That's what you did. That's what you did. Oh, Mozilla. Some days my boy just looks at me and goes, is this an invasion of the body snatchers? Because are you really my mom? Because you crazy. I'm like, remember that your mama crazy. But we won't go there. Does that make sense, LCMM? You go down the path because you chose a particular thought. Yeah, what did you tell the rapper? But you see what I'm saying? The cause, you can predict the effect. Every time. Melissa, whose page are you talking about? $20 in a month. Explain. Explain all these things that are coming at me here in the chat. Explain. You know, I just truly love you, and I want you to, I don't want to say fall in love with the law. I want you to embrace the law. Embrace the law. Because that is, it seems corny, but look around you at the other alternatives. Look around you at the struggle that people are doing needlessly. But now that you know what to look for and how to implement it, if you don't know, slide into my DMs and we'll go through it till you get it. And we do it every morning. Look at the world. Absolute turmoil. But yet we can find inner peace because the law brings peace. That's what order will do. Bring you peace. But when you're running around out there struggling and scratching and clawing and fighting, there's no peace. That's why you can be in the world and not of it. Yeah? Does that make sense today? So there, that's all I want to tell y'all. And so if you find that the content you get here is beneficial to you, share it so that we can get more people to feel the same way. Remember the Tower of Babylon. With a focused, singular attention, we can accomplish much. And this is why we are kept divided, my friends. We are kept divided for that one reason. This is why there can be no unity. Because if there's unity in body, there'll be unity in thought. And if there's unity in thought, there's unity in the law. Oh, snap. Really? I do love to sing, though. I do. You can blame my grandmother for that. I've been singing forever. But there's more than one way to use the voice, and so I just want to learn how to play my guitar now. And I know y'all think I'm crazy now, but it's okay. But you see, that's what I'm saying. To live a life of ease and being carefree, I'm not telling you problems won't come. But when problems come, if you're looking down on the problem, if you're looking down upon the problem because your vibration is above it, and you're looking at it, you see exactly what to do. You're looking at the chess pieces, yes? You know exactly how to move and how to, how to maneuver your way around it. But if you are face to face with your problem, it can overwhelm you. That's why you got to get above it. And the only way to get above it is to raise the vibration. How do you raise your vibration? The thought. Think better thoughts. Mental health is the catchphrase of the year, of the decade. Oh, you must have better mental health. Mental health is the quality of your thoughts. How can you have proper mental health when your thoughts are in the gutter, in the toilet, so to speak? You look in the mirror, you can't find one thing to appreciate about yourself. Then how can you appreciate anything about the rest of the world? That is mental health. The way you speak to yourself, your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts will determine the health of your mental faculties. But we're supposed to be winding down now. Winding down. Winding down. So that's all I want to tell you. The good news is, Mozinga, I did not play drums. But I do know how to slap a mean bass. Don't get me started. Stop. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. I love you so much. And just share the information, please. Because the more of us who are on the same wavelength, we become a cohesive unit. And when you have that much cohesion happening, it builds something beautiful, does it not? That's the goal. And so that's why when you're walking out into the world and you start hearing things that separate people all the time, this person against that person against this, blah. understand the reason. You see, because now that you know the law, now you can recognize who's using the law against you. Oh, snap. Oh, you thought you were in this alone? Nah. Hellboy by Lil Peep. Oh. Look, don't scare me, because last time somebody said to me, I heard your voice and it sounds like you, I went and it was me. So I'm scared to go look now. You do, a not? Do you play? I know E minor. So if you're a Bajan, you tell me to forget that my grandmother was born right here. So all right, I say I shall go. That's the mighty Gabby from Barbados. Oh, social commentary at its best. That man taught me what I know. I know E flat. I know B flat. I know G. But when it comes to strumming or plucking, I don't have that down yet. But I know those. I know those chords. But I like the E because I like a minor chord. Minor chords are so emotive. They make you feel emotions. The minor chords. It has to be a reason for that. I gotta look it up. I'm gonna look it up. It's called Hellboy by Lil Peep. Okay, I'm going into iTunes Music because you know, Hellboy. Oh, Lil Peep. I have it. So I'll pull it up when we're done. That better not be me on there, because he didn't pay me for that. Musical tensions. Yeah. But you see, it's the vibration, right? It's the vibration. Because they tell you if you have a tuning fork, is it C? And you tap your tuning fork in a room full of pianos, all of the pianos will vibrate at C. All of them. So if the pianos vibrate at C when you hit a tuning fork, what do you vibrate at when you come into contact with a tuning fork? Is it A? There you go. A is, I know F is the heart. Is A the throat chakra? Snap. I don't remember. Listen, David, let me tell you. When Gabby said, "That beach is mine, I could bet anytime. Despite what he said, I can bet anyway." Listen, when Gabby sang that, I was a little girl, yeah? And Gabby has been fighting ever since then to keep beaches public in Barbados. And every song he came up with, the government banned off the radio because he influenced the people with the music. And this is why the beaches in Barbados are still public. So he taught me. Yes, Queen Marat, it is therapeutic. It's the vibration. Because you don't hear words, do you? It's the vibration. We only learned words to make the vibration match the word. That's why we learned to speak. But the vibration is what we hear and feel, because it's law. It's law. And so that's why the music is as beautiful as it is. Think about that for a moment. How when you come into contact with those chords, like if you've ever listened to Gregorian monks, oh snap. This is why I love a minor chord. They sang minor notes and it just pulled at every fiber of your being. And you don't know what they're saying. It's not words. It's just the chant of the melody. And that's why King David would play his harp to soothe the demon in King Saul. The vibration was high to subdue the lower vibration beneath it. Don't. Sometimes I feel like there's so much inside I can't get it out. Jeez. Hmm. Oh, Cyber, that accent transition. Listen, you can take me out to Barbados, but you can't take Barbados out to me. Huh? Ah, yes, yes. Because this is why I mentioned, right? If you comprehend the laws on a daily basis and you go through the world, you'll begin to see where the laws are being used against humanity. You'll see it. So that's why they can ban certain songs, because of what it invokes inside the person. And so that's why they ban it, because it's just a song, is it? The intent behind the song, the rhythm, the pulse, the drum, oh, the vibration. David, now you understand why it makes your space peaceful. Because it is the vibration, it is up here. You see, light is sound. Light is sound. But the sound is of a lower vibration. That's why you hear it after you see. But they're not separate. They're not different. Light and sound are not different. They are one and the same. You play a particular chord or a note high enough in a vibration, and you can't hear it anymore. But if you're trained, you'll see the color it creates. So that's why when you choose the music you listen to, think about what we do naturally. When you're feeling sad and blue, oh, sad movies always make me cry. What do? You go in your room and you shut the door and you cry, because that's what you're listening to. But if you hear, get up, stand up for your rights, you hear that, you want to get up and march. It is the power of the vibration. You see where the law is everywhere all day? Man, y'all got me fired up. Yes. Yes. That. It really does something to you when you listen to the Gregorian chants. It does. It soothes the body. So that's why when you get in the bathtub and you got that music on, you don't play Barry White because you want to go outside for a walk, do you? The power of music is the vibration of the music. You choose the music according to what you want to have, that sensation in your body. So you choose the music that matches, that corresponds. We're always doing it. We just didn't know. But it is used always to influence everybody around. That's what it does. So you see, my beautiful friends, I just saw the time. Y'all are so sweet. I shall not keep you longer. I didn't even bring my fork. I have a 528 tuning fork. I didn't even bring it out. I would have dinged it. But in that case, let me see. Yeah, that's what I'll tell you. Go forth today. I know we learned a lot, but you see the sensation that you now feel in your body? See how at ease you are? Remember that sensation and call it up often and frequently. And you will change your life. Not because I say so, but that is the law, cause and effect. I can predict that because I know the cause. You live with ease. then all your experiences will be thus. So there. That's what I'm going to tell you. But that's a beautiful question. You already know the answer to that, but I'll say it anyway. Is music changing the state, or is the state choosing accompanying music? The state is associated with the person. The person chooses the thought. And the thought, I would like to be relaxed right now. That thought makes you choose. The thought is the cause of you choosing the type of music to change your state. Does that make sense, Cyber? Oh, David, it needs to be a peaceful state. Because if you didn't subdue the people, they'd riot. This is the Vatican after all. But remember, music is used to subdue. Remember this. It is either used to subdue or to elevate, David. That's why it's the most peaceful city there is. It is peaceful on the outside. Because you must have the peace on the outside so that what's going on the inside, the Vatican, can continue. But hey, don't get me started. I prefer to use the law for good things. So we're gonna steer over here. I'm glad that was able to help you, Cyber. It is always the mind. Always the mind. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just seeing this. You just wrote a poem 30 minutes ago, Light is Sound. Oh, you wrote a poem 30 minutes ago? Light is Sound? Really? Well, if we didn't just see the law in action, I don't know what just happened. Yes, definitely I can teach you more about the fork. Because will do. Where's my, oh, there it is. See, I always have my book. Always have my book. Tuning fork class. We'll do one. Because it's, and LCMM, in your poem you mentioned light. You see what the law does? 30 minutes ago, where were you? You were here. But you were so stirred up by something in the law that it moved you to do something. Now, let me ask you this question. Have you been neglecting your poetry, LCMM? I'm just curious. Have you been neglecting your poetry? I'm going to ask you that. I'll wait for you to answer. Don't worry. Good. Begin to now use the law. See how you felt when you wrote your poem? Exactly. That sensation in the body, that state that you were in that caused you to write the poem. Now, because the poem has been infused with the law, when anybody hears it, you'll invoke the law within them. Just so you know. We call that the essence. Essence. And you started writing in November, chances are, because it had come to a head. It had come to a climax of where you were, and you're like, I have got to change. I need reprieve. Is that what happened to you in November? Just inquiring minds want to know. I'll sip. I'll wait. Causation in action, my beautiful friends. Causation in action. See what you did? You had to polarize yourself. You said, I'm here. I want to be here. What can I do? And you were inspired to write. And now look where you are, learning the law, just to understand why you did it. Isn't that a line in the Matrix? You're not here to, you've already made the choice. You're just here to figure out why. All right. So you see, law, it works every time. It is a beautiful thing. I'm sitting on my, I'm not in the Buddha pose, but I'm sitting on my feet. Just in case anybody wanted to know. Yes. Yes. See how that works? So now you say you want to go from unemployed to employed. What do you like? Who are you? Because then that's how you'll choose the job. You don't just open, but you choose the job. You begin unemployed, employed. What am I like? Who am I? What can I do? What am I good at? And you write those things down. So when you write those things down, you begin, what did you do? You put together the want ad, because that will correspond to what the employer is looking for. And you, instead of searching for a job, you became the cause of the job coming to you. That's how you do it. I don't know what that one means, so I got to go back in the chat to see. Does that make sense, LCM? Yeah. I don't even know how long StreamYard gives you to stream, to be honest with you. I have no idea. But does that make sense to you today? Because I just had to look, I'm just looking in the chat, because there's some things I don't see on there sometimes. So do you see how to apply polarity now to your day, LCMM? Yeah, because once you see how to do it, then you're going to know exactly where to look. You just will. You just will know where to look. As soon as you, because think about what you did in November. You were looking for something. And now you're like on your way to fulfilling that thing. So all you do is, who are you? What are you good at? What do you bring? What skills do you bring? Which will make you proactive instead of just looking through the job listings. You don't have to just look through those anymore. No. What you do is you list everything that you are. And then when you look, because you know what your list looks like, that will jump right out at you, so that, yeah, you're going to turn on the computer and you're going to scroll, but the thing that you created will jump right out at you because you put it there. You were the cause. Yes. And so now when you say that, right? But it's not just, now here's the difference between manifestation and lifestyle. because I'm reading what you said. You were looking for money. LOL. If you keep looking for money, you always have to keep looking for money. But if you create the lifestyle that allows opportunities and money to come to you, you don't have to look for that anymore, because it's not lost, is it? It isn't lost. It's there. It's everywhere. So then when you're writing that, yes, you're punctual, if that's you. You're a good typist, you're a good receptionist. I'm presuming you're a woman. I probably shouldn't presume, because you could be male or female. Enlighten me so I know who I'm talking to, because then we can gear your characteristics towards what it is for who you say you are. Who are you? I'm good with people. I'm good with numbers. I prefer to work alone without guidance. Or, you're self-directed. Or I work great in a team. Like, are you the leader of the team? Or are you the strongest link in the team? Where do you fit in the team? Or do you prefer to be a solitary person when you are working? So those are what you write down. I figured as much, because chicks feel chicks. Because we understand the way women talk, but that's what I mean. When you write down who you are, like for me, if I've always said reception, because I know give me the phone, I'm a talk. I can talk. And accounts receivable, I'm good there, because again, it's talking. Shoelace, people used to pay all the time. Of course. Why? Because you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You just have to know how to talk to people, right? So those are things I looked for in myself, who I was, my attitude. And let me tell you, I don't work well being managed by an idiot. So I always say, okay, what am I looking for here? Because, some supervisors are a little bit. So that reminds me, T Versation. Miss T Versation. I don't know if she's still here or not, but just to tell me how that situation panned out. Anywho, you have to know who you are and how well you work. So you write that down, because that's on you. And then you say, what rate of pay do I want? That means you have to know what bills you got going out. And you write all of that information down. Because now, when you say, okay, this is what I'm looking for, and this is the title of that role, and you look, you narrow the focus. And when you look, it'll come right off the page at you. Every time. And when you call and you go for the interview, you wrote it down. So it's yours. That's how you do it. That's how you have to know yourself. Yes, definitely the vibrations. Yes, Cream and Rat. We just have this thing. We just know. we just know. Just that thing that we know. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna tell you. Because I don't know. But does that make sense, LCMM? Because it will help you a lot. Yes, it'll help you a lot, because it gives you something to do. Because when you are repolarizing yourself, you have to point yourself in the direction you want to go in, from to. So to get yourself from unemployed to employed, you need to know step 3, which is, what are your skills? Because you got to know what you're looking for. I trust that makes sense. So I'm looking at the chat. Thank you all for being here today. Wow. Y'all are patient. And I appreciate your patience. I truly, truly do. I didn't know we were going to go this long. We just went with it. We just went with it, right? It's not that you were lost, it's just that you didn't know. That's all. My father always says, hey, we go out together. If one of us is lost, we're all lost together. That's what he says. We'll get to our destination together because we lost together. My dad is something else. But that's all. And what happened in November, I want you to see what you did in November. I don't know if you can find the impetus, meaning you have a fulcrum, the scale sits on top of the fulcrum. This is the fulcrum. Something happened to you in November that tipped the scale in polarity and made you swing in a particular way. Something happened to you in November. Because of that incident in November, this is the effect where you are now. So something happened. Something pivotal happened in November because it is what pushed you to change. It polarized you so heavily that you had no choice but to go in the right direction. And that's why you can make that statement that you've been lost for the past 2 years. Does that make sense? No, I'm not psychic. It's the law. Room temperature water. Oh, I'm waiting for you to respond. Aha. Right. On a piece of paper, my dear LCMM, what are you good at? Let your business be one of mutual benefit, meaning it benefits you because you get to do what you love, and it benefits them because they grow from you doing what you love. Both parties win. You see, you joined a business group. Now, flesh out your idea based upon who you are. That is how you're going to grow your business, by knowing who you are and what you bring. What is your side of the mutual benefit? And then when you apply the law and you see that, so I need clients. Cause and effect. Okay, so I go from no clients to clients. What can I do to get myself in a place where I'm seen by clients? The people who are looking for what I have. How do I get myself in front of them? What do I do? And you get an idea and you write it down. Just like you said you wanted to, start a business and make your own money. And what did you do? You were led to do what? Join a business group. Coincidence? Cause and effect. See, we use the law, but we don't know. Robert Milliken? Yes. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Indeed. Do what it is that you love. Listen, I have loved talking my whole existence. And that's why I narrate books. Somebody's got to tell that story, right? So why not get paid at the same mutual benefit? You see, you don't have to go looking for the business. You don't have to go looking for it. It's already within you. Oh, cliche. It is already within you. What is it that you love doing, LCMM? We're going to flesh it out for you today. What you love doing. If this live stream stops, I'll start again. Because like I said, I don't know how long StreamYard gives you. So we're just going to roll with it. Alrighty then. And what do you want your poetry to do to the reader, LCMM? Yes, Mozinga. Ah, I love having a resident etymologist. You're working on a poetry book. What do you want the reader to feel? What do you want the reader to feel? This is why Thoth, when he wrote the Emerald Tablets, and Doriel was translating them, he said, whether or not you believe is irrelevant, read them, because it will invoke what is within you, the light that is within you, it'll bring it forth. So what do you want the reader to experience? Because then that's how you'll know what to write. I choose my books based on that, to narrate. That book is, listen, the synopsis has to move me in the first 3 lines. If it doesn't, I'm less likely to audition. But the synopsis has to, because it has to be a good story. It has to be compelling, because then I get to play all the parts. I get to play all the parts. And we all know how that is. I don't have this much drama in me for nothing. This is what storytellers do. And what got me so intrigued was when I was at student clinic, I met a Scottish woman. She would have to be Scottish to get my attention. She was a storyteller. Now, I don't know if you know anything about the Scottish culture, but when you go to the pub, there's a spot by the fire and there's this armchair. And the storyteller sits in that chair. And the people gather round for the story. If the storyteller is good, she will or he will make you break out in a cold sweat from fear, from telling the story. If they're good and worth their salt, they make you cry, they make you laugh, they put you through a gamut of emotions. That's what she did. She was a storyteller. Alex, I've always remembered her. Brilliant storyteller. And especially when you have the Scottish accent. I can't even do it. Because if I start doing it now, I'll do all night with Scottish and that will be bad. Oh, I see you, etymologist. Yes. So you see, you want to move people and help them see the cosmos themselves in the world. So then when you write it, Thoth, when he was writing, he said, and I'll always remember it, he said he came eye to eye with the all. Well, he doesn't have a body. The all doesn't have a body. Thoth didn't have one. He said he came out of his body and he flew right face to face, eye to eye with the all. What was eye to eye? His consciousness to the consciousness of the all. And he said no words. He said he was sublime. That's how he described the all, as sublime. And so I read that and I was like, sublime. Well, there's a word you don't hear very often. And so when he says things to you like, hold on, because we're going to do it. To get the effect, we going to do it. I think I'm going to look it up because I still have the book up in my iPad. He says to contemplate creation. He says, ask a tomb to flash a ray of his illumination into your awareness, giving you the power to grasp in thought his sublime being. For the invisible may only be seen with thoughts, which are themselves invisible. If you can't see thoughts, do you expect to see a tomb? Look with your mind, however, and he will appear to you, manifesting himself without reservation throughout the whole universe, so that you may see his image with your eyes and hold it with your 2 hands. Do you think a tomb is invisible? Don't say that. Nothing is more visible than a tomb. He created all things so that through them you could see him. This is a tomb's great heart, that he manifests himself in everything. Everything can be known, including the insubstantial. Just as mind is known through thoughts, so a tomb is known through his creation. Let me tell you something. When I read that the first time, I sat there and I was like, where are the words? I couldn't say words. So when you say that you want to move them so they see the cosmos themselves, then the cosmos must first be moved within you. Because as within, so without. So this is your journey. I feel like Sesame Street. This is Guy Smiley. This is your life. So when you start to see and experience the cosmos for yourself, then words will flow from you. And your experience of the cosmos itself will infuse your words so that the person listening or reading will feel you, feel the essence of the all within those words. That's what you're looking for. So allow yourself to sit in a quiet place with pencil and paper and just sit there and shut your eyes and breathe. Because every cell in your body knows exactly what you're looking for. You don't have to speak it. It knows what you're looking for. Allow it, because it's a very strong sensation that you have. So you had this thought for quite some time that it's become magnetized, honey. So the more time you spend there sitting in that silent and quiet space, it will come. And the words will pour forth from your fingers. As you grasp your pen or pencil or you type, either way. What are you saying, Mozinga? The narration reflected that first time? What first time? That Thoth met a tomb? Because it's infused in his words. It's infused in his words. When he says to you that he came eye to eye. So I am to I am. Indeed. Yes. Whew. Hot. Got me fired up. But does that make sense? LCMM, it makes sense to you today? Right? See what I'm saying to you? Every cell in your body. You think you only have 2 ears. Your body has 2 ears here. But your cells, they have ears that you can't see. They feel every subtle movement within you, LCMM. That's why. That's why. And it seems so coincidental. Mozinga. It's true. You know what? That's true. Because the very first time I read it, because I read out loud. I don't read. I read out loud. The life of a narrator, I suppose. But I just do. And the first time I read it, I was in such awe. I had to go back. I don't know how many times I've read this book. I have no idea. None. But every time I read it, I am in awe of the all more and more. And these are things that I don't really tell people because, they think you're crazy. Think you're weird, So you see, it's in you, LCMM. It is in you. Allow it to emerge. Allow it to emerge. So that means 5 minutes, 10 minutes of just sitting there with just if anybody knows how hard that is, that would be me. to sit and be just, the stillness doesn't bother me. The quiet doesn't bother me. It's the, you're just sitting there. I'm not talking. And then I hear things and then I repeat them like, oh, that's what it is. Cells do see us. We'll stop at 3. That's in 5 minutes. Oh, I just shook my computer. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Such is my personality, right? But that's why sometimes it seems coincidental when you write these things and you're like, but I did that a couple months ago. The thought, right? Does that make sense? Oh, did I freeze? No. But that's what I do. Atum is the all-encompassing author of entirety, weaving everything into the fabric of reality, because creation is visible. We can see the creator, and this is the purpose of his creation. Since he is always creating, he can always be seen. So we should think and marvel and realize that we are blessed with knowledge of our Father. To know Atum's being, contemplate him in thought. To see him with your eyes, look at the exquisite order of the cosmos, the necessity which governs everything you perceive, the goodness of all that has been and that is coming to be. Look at matter filled full with life and see Atum pulsating with all he contains. Shoot. When I tell you that the all is amazing, I'm not just telling you that because I'm crazy. Well, allegedly that's what happens to some of us. I don't know, but I just love it. I love it. And so that's when I had the opportunity to narrate the Emerald Tablets. I was like, done and done some more. Because just hearing his words ignited something within. And so I know people say, oh, you're so dramatic, but I don't try to be dramatic. It's just that the stuff moves you. If it moves you, how can you stand still? But anywho, this was such an incredible afternoon. I wouldn't have spent it better anywhere else other than being in your presence and sharing and receiving. See what just happened? Mutual benefit. I shared, you received. You gave, I received. That's what it is. So tomorrow morning, after morning inspiration, there's going to be a link that is sent only to the people who are in the 2190. So right after morning inspiration, we'll go right into it. So morning inspiration won't be long. We're aiming for half an hour. And so we will get that link and we'll start fleshing it out. So I know some of them were the gym, some of them were smoking cessation, meditation, more discipline. I remember what some of them were. And so we'll start to flesh them out so that we have habits, an activity to do. So tonight, while you're having your supper, find that time. So if you say I can only go to the gym at 4 p.m., then you don't compromise 4. You plan things before 4 or after, but not during 4 o'clock. Or else how can you stay consistent? We set ourselves up for success. Yes? All righty then. Thank you. And I will see you. Oh my God, we've been on live for 3 hours, 14. Let's get right to 3. There's only like 45 seconds left. And now there's 17 people. Cyber, thank you for being here. And I know there's some of you here in the chat who've made yourselves known, but I don't know who the others are that have not made themselves known. This was absolute brilliance today because you guys brought your testimonials and you brought your questions and you brought what was in me out. Now I gotta tuck it back in. You crazy, Showing? No, I'm just kidding. But that's what it is. You bring it out in me every single time that we're together. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. I love you.